Continue on. This is page 2 of the study guide. Number 12, you need 6 feet of ribbon for each box you are wrapping. How many boxes can you completely wrap with 50 feet of ribbon? So I've got some ribbon and I need 6 foot lengths. So if I take 50 and divide it by 6, 6 goes into 58 times. 8 times 6 is 48. That leaves me at 2. So I have 8 and 2, 6. That's what the division equals, or 8 1/3. But remember, I need 6 feet for each box. So the number of boxes I can actually fully wrap is 8 boxes. That's the answer to the question. Find the sum of 3/7 plus 2/7. This is straightforward because the bottoms are the same. I'm adding the same thing here. So it's like 3 dogs plus 2 dogs. 3/7 plus 2/7 is 5/7. So this was made easy because the denominators were the same. Find the difference. 5/8 minus 1/3. Now the denominators are not the same, and we're going to have to find common denominators first. Remember, you only need common denominators. Common denominators are required for sorry, my writing is not very legible here. For adding and subtracting, not for multiplying and dividing. Adding and subtracting. So 5/8 minus 1/3. Well, one thing that always works to find a common denominator is just multiply one denominator by the other. Sometimes it's bigger than necessary, but it does always work. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to multiply this fraction by 3, and I'm top and bottom. I'm going to multiply this fraction by 8, top and bottom. So now my problem becomes 15/24 minus 8/24. Again, denominators are the same, so it's just 15 minus 8, or 7/24. You are supplied with 18 2/3 yards of rope. How many pieces of length 4/5 yards can you cut from the supply? So I have 18 and 2/3 divided by 4/5. So I'm dividing by a fraction, so I need to change the mixed number into an improper fraction. So 3 times 18 is 54. 54 plus 2 is 56. So I have 56 thirds divided by 4/5. So again, I can use my keep, change, flip, since I'm dividing by a fraction. So this will stay the same, 56/6. I'm going to change this to a multiplying, and this becomes 5/4. And I see right away that I can do some simplifying because 4 is the same as 2 times 2, and 56 is the same as 2 times 28. So I can cancel out 1, 2, top and bottom. And I have 28 times 5 over 6 times 2 is 12. Oh, I can simplify another 2 out of this, can't I? So I'm going to write it like this. I'll say 6 times 2, but 28 is the same thing as 2 times 14. So there's a cancel there and a cancel there. And now I'm left with, and I can still cancel out. Because 14 is the same as, I'm going to write 2 times 7 times 5. 6 is the same as 2 times 3. So these cancel out. And I'm left with 7 times 5 is 35. 35 divided by 3. How many threes can I get out of 35? Well, I can get 11 is 33. And then I have 2 left over. So 11 and 2/3. So I can get Something is not right here. 54, 56. Oh, that's... so you want to see my problem? I wrote 6 here when it should have been 3. So this 6 stays the same way. Let's go like this. So 56 over 3 divided by 4/5. So I have 56 divided by 3 times 5 over 4. That part was okay. 56 is the same thing as 2 times 28 over 3 times 5 times 4. And 4 is the same thing as 2 times 2. So let me cancel this and this. And now I'm left with 28 times 5. 28 times 5 is going to be 140. Because 5 times 20 is 100. 5 times 8 is 40. 100 plus 40, 140. 3 times 2 is 6. So I have a little division problem to do here. How many 6s can I get out of 140? 6 goes into 14 twice. 2 times 6 is 12. That's 14 minus 12 is 2. Bring down the 0. How many 6s can I get out of 20? Well, you can get 3. 3 times 6 is 18. Leaves me with 2. So I have 23 and 2 6 the remainder. So that means I can get of lengths of 4/5, I can get 23 lengths of 4/5 yards. That's the answer, 23 lengths. Sorry about that earlier mistake. So let me write it right here. I can get 23 lengths. So evaluate 3 times quantity n plus 4 for n equals 5. So I'm going to take the 5, I'm going to plug it in for n. I'm left with 3 times 5 plus 4. Now order of operations, 5 plus 4 is 9. 3 times 9 is 27. Write an algebraic expression for the quotient of 5 coins and n. So I have to write an algebraic expression for the quotient. Quotient is the answer to a division problem. So 5 coins and n. So this would be 5 divided by n. That's one way to write it. But as we're moving into algebra, we want to realize that a fraction is a division problem. So it's also 5 over n. Both of these are correct. Bill texts 23 messages a day. Write an expression, so I'm going to have to write an expression again, to find how many messages he will write in n days. Well, here's my number of days. If he texts 1 day, that'll be 23 messages. For 2 days, it's going to be 2 times 23 or 46 messages. If he does 3 days, it's going to be 3 times 23 or 69 messages. So if he does n days, well, what do? I simply multiply by n. So 23n. So 23n is the expression, because remember, there's a multiplication going on there, for how many texts that Bill will send out. Find the solution. Okay, so here we go reading these equations again. So there's an equation now. I start with an equal sign. So here's my variable. I'm subtracting 12. What undoes subtracting 12? Why adding 12? That's the inverse operation. And if I add 12 to one side of the equal sign, I must add it to the other. And notice how I'm keeping all this work together, neatly organized. I'm putting things right above each other that I can combine. Well, these two 12s, they're opposite operations, right? So they are going to cancel each other out. So the only thing left on the left side of the equal sign is x. On the right side, I have 39 plus 12, 51. So there's my solution. And of course, I could check it by putting the 51 back in for x. So what is 51 minus 12? If I do this, I have to borrow from the 5, and I get 39. So this tells me that my solution is correct. Now I have to solve the equation. So I'm going to find the solution. So here's my variable, r. This time it's in a fraction, and a fraction is a division problem. Let's write that down. That's worth writing down. A fraction is a division problem. It's also another way you can get to writing a decimal. But we need to know a fraction is a division problem. So this is r, it's being divided by 9. What would undo dividing by 9? Well, multiplying by 9. So I'm going to multiply by 9. And remember, this is like 9 over 1. So if I multiply this side by 9, I'm going to multiply this side by 9. Conveniently, we do this because there's the 9s that cancel out, and I have r divided by 1. r divided by 1 is r. On this side, I have 4 times 9 is 36, and I have a negative times a positive. So when the signs are different, it's always negative. Negative times positive is negative. When the signs are the same, it's positive. But there's my solution. Number 21. Graph the solution to the equation. Well, this problem is going to start out much like the other problem did. I'm going to add 12 to both sides. On the right side, I'm going to have n, or excuse me, on the right side. On the left side, I'm just going to have n, because these two will cancel each other out. And I have n. The left side, though, is a little bit different. I have negative 5 plus 12. Well, when I'm adding and the signs are different, one way to do it is just to subtract the smaller from the larger. So 12 minus 5 is 7. And then you ask yourself, which of these two numbers, the negative 5 or the 12, is further from 0? Well, 12 is further from 0. So the sign of this answer has to be positive. So it's going to be n equals 7. Now, in order to graph it, I just need 5. Where's 7 in my number line? Well, there's 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there is my solution graphed. If Mr. O drove 770 miles in 14 hours, what was his mean or average driving speed? So I'm going so many miles, and speed's kind of a clue here too. When I go down the road, my speed I describe in terms of 35 what? Miles per hour. So this is actually telling me how to set up the problem. That is, I drove 770 miles in 14 hours. The question is, how many miles did I go in a 1 hour? Well, a fraction is a division problem, right? We just got through saying that. So what is 770 divided by 14? How many 14s can go into 7? None. Into 77, I can get 5. 5 times 4 is 20. Carry the 2. 5 times 10 is 50. Plus 2 is 70. So 77 minus 7 is 7. I bring that down. Oh, how convenient is that? How many 14s can I get to 70? Well, I can get 5. 5 times 14 is 70. Goes to 0. So the average speed was 55 miles per hour. So Mr. O drove 770 miles in 14 hours. That's the same thing as driving 55 miles every 1 hour.